Okay, so in last class we have discussed SSRS report, right? So we have created a simple SSRS report and we have downloaded it into Excel format. So we have used the row ID expression and we have used aggregate function called sum and we did some formatting changes and all, right? Okay, so today we are going to discuss with the parameters concept. Okay, so the parameters concept is very important in SSRS reports. So first of all, let me know what is uh, parameter and what are the types of parameters available in the SSRS. Okay, so parameter is nothing but providing input to the query in order to filter the data. Okay, so just like you are applying where condition on the SQL Server query. See, this is your SQL statement, right? So earlier we have used this SQL statement in the data set, right? In the same data set we have executed this SQL statement. So if I execute it, after connecting to the DW2012 Adventure Works, see 60,398 rows are getting extracted. That means this is your detailed data. So now what I want to do, I want to apply some where condition on this particular query. Okay, so let me take the copy and here I will apply where condition where. So I want to get only product category key 1 data. That means only bikes data I want to extract. So this is your product category key, right? So let me copy this column name, copy it here, is equal to 1. Now execute this. See, earlier you got 60,398 rows, but now you're able to extract 15,205 rows. Okay, 15,205. So you have applied the where condition based on product category key column. So this applying this type of condition on result set in order to filter the data, we are going to use parameters. Okay. Now you have used the parameter here in the query. So this is called query parameter. Two types of parameters are there. Query parameter, report parameter. So we are going to use the query parameter inside the SQL statement. So rather than keeping the 1, what I will do, I will keep @ so this is @ I'm going to provide name called cat ID. Okay, any name you can provide. So @cat ID. So @ specifies that this is a parameter. So at query level you are mentioning this. That's the reason we call it as query parameter. But if you execute this query now, it throws an error. What is this variable? What is this @cat ID? It should be declared and all, right? So it throws an error. It will not be executed in the SQL Server unless until you declare that variable and provide the value. But you can copy it. So let me create a new report for this. Close it. Add new item. Select report. So let me name it as parameter.rdl. Click on add. Now we need to create a data source, right? Embedded data source. Add data source. But I don't want to select the SQL Server again providing database and all. Already we have created a shared data source here. So let me use the shared data source reference edw_ds. Click on OK. Now create a dataset. Add dataset. Select dataset embedded in my report. Select data source 1 that we have created just now. Click on query designer. Okay. Now what you can do, you have a query, right? So when you have a query, click on edit as text. You can simply copy it, paste it here. Now execute it. See, it is asking for the value @cat ID. What parameter value you are going to provide in order to execute this query. So let me say, let me provide category ID 1. So click on OK. See, the data has been filtered out with the category key 1. Clear? So it's working. Click on OK. Now, if you observe the fields, yes, you have all the field values. These are all column names. And if you go to the parameters, see, there is a parameter called @cat_id. This is your query parameter. You have mentioned this query parameter in the query, right? @cat_id. So that is appeared here. Okay. Now you need to pass some input parameter value to this query parameter by creating the report parameter. So report parameter will be working at report level. Okay. So if I manually provide some value, something like this 1, every time it will take 1 only. But I don't want to provide a static value for the query parameter. Every time I don't want to get the category ID 1 data. There should be option for the end user to select that report parameter value. Sometimes he might be extract the category ID 2 data or 3 data, accessories, bikes, clothing. So whatever that is end user's wish. So whatever category information he wants to see, he will provide that category ID value dynamically. Okay. So if you want to provide the input parameter as a dynamically to the query parameter, then what you need to do, you need to create a parameter here. Left side, if you see the parameters block, see currently it is not having any plus symbol. That means nothing is there. Nothing has been created in the parameters. Okay. So if you see this drop down also, you will not be able to see any report parameters in order to map them. The moment you click on OK button, so what will happen? With the same name, whatever query parameter is created with the name called @cat_id, with the same name it is going to create report parameter also. The moment you click on OK button, here this parameters node is going to be populated with some report parameter. That report parameter's name would be the same name, @cat_id. See, let's click on OK. The moment I click on OK, see, earlier it is not having any plus symbol. That means no information is available in the parameters. But now it is having plus symbol. If you expand that, the moment you expand it, you will be able to see the report parameter name. See, I haven't created it. Actually, we need to create it. Right click on it, add parameter, provide the parameter name, then click on OK. The moment you click on OK, then it is going to create a parameter. But here, system itself is creating it the moment you click on OK button. See, again, if you open the data set, go to the dataset properties, again go to the parameters. Now see, this query parameter is mapped with the report parameter called @cat_id. So both are same. @cat_id. Clear? So this is what this is the way to create the parameters. So this is your report parameter. Now let me open this. What is the name of the parameter? Cat ID. What is the prompt? Prompt message is nothing but end user will be at the time of executing the report, end user will be seeing that message on top of the report. So prompt message, this is some kind of prompt message in order to help the end user what type of value should be provided as a input parameter. So this kind of prompt message must be something like select category, and what type of information you are providing as input parameter. Here you provided 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So we have 4 categories. So that is integer data type. Select the integer data type. So click on OK. That's it. Now let's create a report. Category name, subcategory name, product name, order quantity, sales amount. Let's preview it.
Hello.
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, Vaishnavi.
కనెక్ట్ ఏమవుతుందంటే మీది వాయిస్ బ్రేక్ అవుతుంది మధ్యలో, నాకు రావట్లేదు సమంగా.
Oh, okay. Might be ఇంటర్నెట్ కనెక్షన్ ఏమైనా ప్రాబ్లం ఉందంటారా? ఒకసారి చెక్ చేయండి. ఎందుకంటే
అంటే నా దగ్గర
మీది కట్ అయిపోతుంది వాయిస్ ఇప్పుడు. ఎందుకంటే ఇంటర్నెట్ కనెక్షన్ సరిగ్గా లేకపోతే కట్ అయిపోతుంది. మీకు వాయిస్
మా దగ్గర ఇంటర్నెట్ ప్రాబ్లం అట. సారీ. ఓకే. సారీ.
బట్ ఎనీవే వీడియో అయితే మీకు డిస్టర్బెన్స్ రాదు, ఎందుకంటే నేనే రికార్డ్ చేస్తున్నాను కాబట్టి ఇబ్బంది లేదు. ఓకేనా?
ఓకే.
స్క్రీన్ చెప్పండి. మీకు స్క్రీన్ కనుక ఫ్రీజ్ అయిపోయింది అనుకోండి చెప్పండి, అప్పుడు నేను బ్రేక్ చేస్తాను.
ఓకే.
ఓకేనా? యాజ్ ఆఫ్ నౌ చూడండి, నేను మౌస్ కర్సర్ మూవ్ చేస్తున్నాను, కనిపిస్తుందా?
వాయిస్ బ్రేక్ అయింది అంతే.
ఓకే. ఓకే ఫైన్. సో చూడండి, సెలెక్ట్ కేటగిరీ మనం ప్రొవైడ్ చేసాం కదా. సో దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ ద prompt message. So prompt message is going to help end user in order to provide the correct input. Otherwise, what they don't know, if you provide simply cat ID, so they don't know what type of input parameter they should provide. Okay, so that's the reason I provided the prompt message something like select category ID, so that I would, okay, I can understand that we need to provide category ID information here. So let us say if I want to see the clothing data, then I will provide 3 and click on view report. See, I'm going to see the only clothing data, but not the rest of the categories. How many pages are there? 212 pages are there. Okay, 212 pages are there, and all are clothing data only. If I want to see the bikes data, then I will provide 1 and I will click on view report. Right? So like that. So for category ID 2 components, we do not have any data. That's why it throws in null data. Okay, nothing is there. For category ID 4, we have data, accessories. See, accessories we have data. Only for components, we do not have any data. Okay, so this is very simple basic report parameter. Okay, we haven't applied any complications here. So this is very simple report. Now let us implement one by one in parameters concept also. Okay, so any doubts so far for how to create the report parameter, how to create the query parameter and all? No doubts, right? Okay, fine. So let me okay, let me close this. Let me show you how to create a report using the wizard also. Okay, so as of now we have created the report right from the scratch, and we have one more option called add a new report. So it is going to open a wizard for you. The moment you click on next, it is going to ask you what is the data source. Yes, we have already created a data source, ADWDS. Let's select that. If you don't want to use the existing one, then you can create a new data source. Then click on next. Query builder. The moment you click on query builder, it is going to give you graphical user interface option, whatever you have already seen at the time of creating the data set. Same thing. See, if you have query ready with you, then you can provide it here. So if you do not want to use the query builder, you have the query directly, then probably you can use copy it, paste it, then click on next. Now it is going to ask you which type of report you want to create, whether it is a tabular report or a matrix report. So tabular report is nothing but the basic standard reports we are creating just now. So from past 2 days we are creating this tabular reports only. So columns are fixed, what data is going to be appended. Okay, so matrix reports are different. Columns are not fixed. Okay, so these are purely for summarized data. So we are going to see how to create matrix reports later. But as of now, let's concentrate on tabular report. So let me select tabular, click on next. Now it is going to ask you what are the columns which should be included in the detail columns, or what are the columns which should be included in the grouping columns, and what are the page headers. So I don't want to create groups and all because you will get confused. So that's the reason. Let me select everything into the detail only. Category name, category, subcategory name, product name, order quantity, sales amount. That's it. So click on next. See, these are the different formats of report style. Table style might be slate, forest, corporate, bold, ocean, generic. Let me select slate, click on next, provide report name. Let me name it as product. Finish. See, system itself is creating a report with the format called slate, and it provides some header on top of the report. See, so if you want to do any modifications, yes, you can do that. So if you want to extend the column names, headers, or any format, you can do that. Order quantity, sales amount. That's it. So let's go ahead and review it. See, it is asking cat ID. See, parameter is created here. Open it. Change the integer. Change the prompt message. Click on review. See, the moment I provide 1 and click on view report, see, it is going to give you the very simple way of creating the report. Later on, if you whatever changes you want to do, yes, you can do that customization. So through Wizard also, we will be able to create a report. Now my question is, as an end user, he should be having this knowledge, right? What type of input I have to provide? Because if you go to the product category table, you have only 4 categories: bikes, components, clothing, and accessories. Okay, just give me a second. Right. So end user always should be remember whatever available category IDs are there in the table. Okay, tomorrow if new category ID is inserted into the table, then he has to aware about that, and also he should remember these values also. So category 1 stands for bikes, 2 stands for components, 3 stands for clothing, 4 stands for accessories. But this is not possible if you have n number of values. If you have 37, 40 values, then you will not be able to remember what is 1 stands for which category, 2 stands for which category. Okay, only you have 4 categories. That's the reason why you are simply remembering the 1 stands for bikes. If the list is very big, then you will not be able to remember that. That's a disadvantage, right? So rather than providing the 1, 2, 3, 4, what if you get the drop down list here? So from that drop down list, whatever data you want to see, you can select that value and click on view report. So that would be very simple simple methodology, right? So in order to execute the report. So how to provide the drop down list for the report parameters? So let me go ahead. So let me save it as, let me rename the report name, something like, I will say parameter drop down. Simple. Parameter drop down. Okay. Now let's go to the parameters. Click on parameter properties. So data type is integer, fine. Let's go to the available values. As of now it is none. By default it is none. Here select specify values. Click on add. Now provide the label name, provide the value name. So what is the label name? Label name is nothing but the column name which is appeared to the end user in order to identify that particular category ID. It helps you to pick the category ID. Bikes is the label, but actual value which can be provided as a input parameter in order to filter the query is category key, that is 1, right? So in where condition you have to provide 1 here, but pointing to the 1 you are selecting the bikes. This is a label value, this is the backend actual value that is provided to the input parameter. Now click on add again, copy the components, this is 2, again one more add, clothing 3, again add it, accessories 4, that's it. So click on OK. Now go to preview. See, this time we are getting the drop down list. So from this drop down list it would be easier for the end user in order to select the bikes or components. See, this time I am selecting the clothing, then view report. Simply we are getting the clothing. Clear? So this is the way to create the parameter drop down. Any doubts so far? It's clear, right?
No doubt.
Right. So now let's go ahead and see. Here one more challenge is there. I am providing the drop down list, right? So bikes, components, clothing, accessories. So what if tomorrow your table is updated with the new category and old category has been removed or modified? Then who is going to take these changes? Because you have manually provided these values in specified values, right? Here you manually do it. So whenever changes comes in the original report, original table, then what you need to do, again you have to add that new category here and you need to remove the old category here. Otherwise what it will do? Always it is going to show you the old values in the drop down list. So end user might not be provided the sufficient information. So there is a risk, right? So that is the reason why in order to avoid this, we can have one more option called get values from a query. We can populate the drop down list from the query also. Okay. Directly we are going to point to the source table. So any changes occur at the table level, those are going to be reflected in the drop down list also. That is what the advantage. Now let me create a separate report for that example. Let me close this, and I'm going to, rather than creating from the scratch, I'm just going to copy it. Select the report, Control C, Control V. See, copy of report has been created here. So let me rename it drop down list query from query. Step by step we are going to implement each and everything. Okay, so let's open it. See, parameter drop down query. So here, what we are going to do, we need to create one data set for retrieving these values in order to populate the drop down list for the category ID parameter. For cat ID report parameter, we need a drop down. The drop down can be extracted data from the source table called product dim category. Okay. So what I want to do, let me right click on dataset, add dataset, select embedded dataset in my report, select data source. Here, go to the query designer. Let me add a table called dim product category. Close it. Select the two columns which you require. First one is what? Category ID. Second one is what? Category name. Okay. So let's execute it. Run it. See how many records you are getting? 4 records. One for bikes, accessories. See you are getting 4 records. Fine. So click on OK. Now provide a name, something like this data set is for category ID report parameter, right? So cat ID underscore ds data set. Click on OK. Now let's go ahead and right click on cat ID. Go to the parameter properties. Go to available values. This time let me select get values from a query. Select the dataset. See, just now we have created this dataset, right? So select it. And what is the value field you want to provide it as an input parameter? Product category key. And what is the label field? You want to see that category name, right? Category name. Simple. This is value field and this is label field. Click on OK. Now go to the preview. The moment you select the bikes, so you will be able to get the bikes data. Now the big advantage of following this methodology, it makes you update the values. So whatever data that is reflected, whatever data that is updated in the source table, that is going to be reflected at the same time in the drop down list also. You don't have to worry about the updates or deletes or modifications in the source table, right? Always it will be updated. The moment you execute the report, the data will be updated here. This drop down data will be updated. Clear? Any doubts? Right. So let's, yeah. Vaishnavi, any questions?
No doubts. I said it was clear.
Oh, okay, fine. Now, so let's see the default parameter concept. Okay. So now let me take this copy, whatever we have created so far. Let me take that, Control C, Control V. See, copy has been created. Let me name it as default parameter dropdown. Okay. Dropdown not required. Default parameter value. Let's open it. Now here what I'm going to do, if you open the category ID, so there is a option called default values. Under this default values, as of now, no default value has been selected by default. That means you are not providing any value as a default value for the report parameter. So whenever you execute the report, you have to manually select any one of the item from the drop down list. Then you have to click on view report. Then report is going to be executed. So when you select the default value, something like specify values. Let me use the specify values first. So click on add. Okay, here if you provide value something like 1, not 1, let's say 3. 3 means clothing, right? So click on OK. The moment you click on preview, see It is not asking for the parameter selection. Directly it is going to execute the report with the selection called clothing, because we have provided default value as 3. That's the reason. Clear? So this is the way to provide the default value for the report parameter value. Okay, so report will be executed by default with the clothing data. What if you do not want the clothing data? Then you can change it to accessories. Then you can again execute the report. So this is one facility. Clear? So we have similar option for the query also. So you can get value from queries. This is similar to the available values, whatever we did it here. So if you want to get that value dynamically from any data set, then you can create one data set there. Okay, using that data set, whatever data or whatever input value that comes, that will be mapped as a value field. Then click on OK. So dynamically every time the value input will be coming from the query itself. Otherwise, if you want to write expression, yes, you can write an expression using these functions and all. You can write an expression also in order to get that value dynamically. Or if you want to make it static, then make it static. So that depends upon the requirement. Clear? Okay, fine. So let's save this. Okay, now so parameters, in parameters concept, the important one is cascading parameters concept. So before doing that cascading parameters, let me introduce with two parameters. So as of now we have created only one parameter. So what if we have two parameters? That means two conditions. Okay, simple, two conditions. So let me right click, add new item, select report. Now two parameters, click on add, right click on data source, use the sharing data source, click on OK, right click add dataset, embedded dataset, select data source, click on query designer, click on edit as text. Now let's copy this query. See, here we have only one where condition. So let me add one more condition, and I want to apply condition based upon subcategory key also. Subcategory key is equal to @subcat @subcat. Okay, subcat ID. That's it. See what? The query is already with me. So what if you do not have this where condition, and if you have only detailed data, something like this. Okay, so if you execute this, you are getting all the detailed data, right? So if you again click on edit as text, so it is going to show you the available tables, and it is going to select whatever columns you require, right? Let's make it something like this. Let them keep in a way. Okay, see, we know that by clicking on add table, and we are going to select the required tables, then we make a join. See, entire query will be built like this. But how do you provide the where condition here? Here manually I have written here, then I provided the cat ID and subcat ID, right? So two parameters have been created here by writing the where condition. So here also you can provide the filter where condition. See, here you have option called filter. So what you can do, go to that product category key and provide @cat ID. Okay, so subcategory also, for subcategory key also we have one parameter, subcat ID. That's it. The moment you click on another cell, so it is going to create parameters here. See, earlier this particular line is not there, where dim product category key is equal to @cat ID and dim product subcategory key is equal to @subcat. Clear? So if you want to sort the data, yes, you can sort it. If you select one, that is sorting order, descending order, something like that. Okay. So let's click on execute it. The moment you run the query, it is going to ask you for the input parameter values. Let us say if I provide 1 for the category ID and 2 for the subcategory ID, then click on OK. See, it is giving data 8068 records. So category 1 means bikes. Subcategory 2 means road bikes. There. So click on OK. The moment you see the parameters tab, you will be able to see two query parameters. One is @cat ID, second one is @subcat ID. But we do not have report parameters. The moment you click on OK, left side parameters node will be populated with two report parameters with the same name, and they are going to be mapped automatically. We know that, right? So click on OK. See, it has created two parameters. Change the data type integer. Select category. Okay, click on OK. Again, open the subcategory ID. Change the data type. Select subcategory. Click on OK. Simple. So now let's go to tools. Take the table. Create a table by selecting the multiple columns. Order quantity, sales amount. That's it. That's it. So click on preview. See, we have two parameters. That's why it is asking to report parameter values. So select category, select subcategory. So I want to get it through what is that drop down list. Okay, I want to create two drop down lists for the category report parameter and subcategory report parameter. So how we are going to do that? We are going to report data, create data set. Add data set, query designer, go to add table. For first report parameter, select the category, product category table, add it, close it. Category key and category name. Fine. So let's execute this. See, we are getting 4 records, right? So click on OK. Now provide the name, category, dataset. Click on OK. So let's create one more dataset. Query designer, add table, subcategory. So let's select the dim product subcategory table and close it. Select subcategory key and English product subcategory name. These are the two fields we require in order to populate the drop down list for the subcat ID parameter. So let's click on OK. Provide the name something like subcat underscore dataset2. So click on OK. Now let's go ahead and right click on cat ID report parameter. Go to the available values, select get values from a query, select the dataset category dataset, value field is category key, label name is category name. Same thing for the subcategory ID also. Select the subcategory dataset, value field subcategory key and subcategory name. Go to the preview. See, select the bikes, select the road bikes, then click on view report. So it is executing the report and it is providing data for bikes, road bikes. Clear? Is it clear? Any doubts? Yeah, fine. But still there is a problem with this report. Because what if end user selected other than first three subcategories, mountain bikes, road bikes, touring bikes. These three are related to bikes category. But handlebars are not related to bikes category. If I select handlebars and click on view report, see, no data is provided because this handlebars is not a related subcategory for the bikes category. Okay. Now, how would I know that? Whether these subcategories are related to bikes or categories, no, sorry, or clothing or accessories or components. How would I know that? So we should have knowledge on data first of all, right? But even though you have knowledge also, sometimes you will forget. When the list is very big, you do not remember that. Okay. Here, this problem arises because it is going to show you the entire list of all the subcategories. It is not going to filter out the data. Clear? So it is not filtering out the data based upon the selection of the selection of the category. Let us assume that if we have a facility that if I select bikes, only bikes related subcategories are appeared in this drop down list. If it is getting filtered out based upon the value selection of the first report parameter, that is category, then it would be a great. So end user do not have a confusion, so that whatever values which are appeared in the second report parameter drop down list are already filtered out based upon the value selection that is for the category report parameter. Then in that case you will not be facing this kind of issue. So you simply, the moment I select the bikes, only bikes related subcategories, mountain bikes, road bikes, touring bikes, only three values will be appeared in the drop down list. So I can select any one of them and I can view report. Right? So this is called cascading parameters. This is called cascading effect. One for the first report parameter, we do not have any issues. We will select any item. So based upon that selection, the next parameters drop down list is going to be filtered out. That is called cascading effect. Okay. So we are going to see how to do that. So let me close this without doing the cascading. Let's close this. Now let me take the copy of it. Copy, Control C, Control V, and let me rename it. Cascading parameters. Okay, now what I want to do, let's go to the data set. Okay, so for subcategory ID, we are getting the data from subcat dataset 2, correct? So we want to filter out the drop down list of subcategory based upon the value selection of the category. So what we need to do, we have to go to this data set, we have to filter out the data. So let me open this data set, go to the query designer. See, here we have one more column called product category key. Okay, so in this I have selected that product category key, but I don't want it to be output. So I don't want to show this product category key in output. That's why let me uncheck this. But I want to use this category key in order to filter the data. What I'm supposed to do? I will provide @cat ID. So @cat ID is already there. Okay. So @cat ID is working as a report parameter in order to execute the report, right? So for the @cat ID, when you select the value, that same value will be provided as input parameter to this data set also. So that's the reason I have to provide the same name, okay, not the other name. So now I am executing it, this data set. So it is asking for the @cat ID report parameter. So if I provide one, see, only 3 records are fetched here: mountain bikes, road bikes, touring bikes, not rest of the list. So this data set is going to be filtered out based upon the category ID selection. So click on OK. Now click on OK. See, subcategory is inactive. It is not showing anything because you haven't selected any value for the category. The moment you select the bikes, see, it is going to be populated with only bikes related subcategories. See, mountain bikes, road bikes, touring bikes. The moment I select the clothing, only clothing related values will come here. Select it, you report. No data is available for clothing and big shorts. Okay. So let's select the caps. For caps, we have a data. Clear? This is called cascading effect. Now, what I want to do, I want to select multiple values in the subcategories list. Okay. For first report parameter, for category parameter, I don't want the multiple selection. Only one item should be selected here. Either bikes or components or clothing or accessories. But for the subcategories, I want to select multiple selections. So how do you enable the multiple selection of parameter values? Simple. Go to the parameter subcategory ID, parameter properties, allow multiple values. Enable this. That's it. Click on OK. Go to the preview. Now select the bikes. Now if I see, it is providing the option. You can select all of them at a time. Select all, or you can select multiple values based upon selection. The moment you click on view report, it is throwing an error. Because see, there is an error in the dataset 1. Dataset 1 is your main dataset. See, so in your main dataset, what you did, incorrect syntax. Bikes, okay, you have selected the only single value for the first parameter, that is @cat ID. For the second parameter, you have provided multiple values, more than one value. Okay, when you provide more than one value, what you need to do? You have to use in operator rather than using the equal symbol. Okay, equal operator will take only one value as input parameter. But if you use in parameter, sorry, not in operator, and put the subcat ID in the brackets, then it is going to accept multiple values, isn't it? So that change we need to do. Go to the dataset 1, dataset properties, open the query designer, edit as text. Here what I need to do, I need to provide in operator, open the bracket, close the bracket, click on OK. Now preview it. Select the bikes, select mountain bikes, road bikes, then view report. See, you got the data for both road bikes and mountain bikes. Multiple value selection. Clear? Okay. Just give me a second. Okay, now so we are good with the parameters concept. So a lot of examples we did. So let's see the grouping concept. Okay, so we will see that grouping example. Then we are going to close the class for today. Okay, so let me close this report. Let me create a new report for the grouping report. Let me name it as grouping. Add it. Let me create new data set. So I want to copy only detailed data set, no where conditions. I want to take all the detailed data. So if you execute it, all the 60,398 rows will get. So click on OK. Now go to the toolbox, take the table. Let's select the category name, subcategory name, product name. Done. Fine. So let's check this. See, we are getting all the detailed data. If you go to the last page, see how many pages are there? 1400 pages. That means all the 60,398 rows are coming. Okay. Now what I want to do, I want to apply group by condition. I want to apply group by clause based upon the category names. Okay. Category wise, I want to see the total order quantity and sales amount. So data will be rolled up to the category name wise. Bikes, what are the summarized data? Components wise, summarized data. Clothing, accessories wise, summarized data. Okay. So I can create whether row groups or column groups. Okay. Let me show you how to create row groups first. So add group. See, here we have option called parent group, child group. We will see that in tomorrow's example. As of now, just see, the moment I select the details, it is selecting the details tab. See, right click on it, group properties. See, as of now, no group is created. So click on group expressions, click on add, select the grouping column, category key. Now go to the sorting, click on add, select the category key, click on OK. Okay, so data will be sorted. The moment you click on OK button, see, earlier there were 3 lines, right? 3 lines were there. That indicates detailed data, but now it is turned into bracket symbol. That means there is a group. See, here also it is showing bracket symbol, square bracket. So group has been created here. One row group is created here. Okay, now what I want to do, I want to insert one more row here. Insert row outside group below for grand total. And I want to get the sum of order quantity. See, automatically it's taking sum of order quantity because you have created the row outside group below. That's the reason. Okay. Sales amount, sum of sales amount. Make it bold. Now check this. See, rather than showing you 1400 pages, it is showing simply one page, single page. Because how many categories are there? Total 4 categories, out of which components do not have any data. So bikes, are clothing, accessories, only 3 categories are having the data. That's why it is showing grand total 60,398 quantity, and this is the amount of dollars. Okay, but it is not in a proper format. But how come it is showing 60,398 rows and it is showing only 111? Sum of these 3 lines
is 3, but not the 60,398 crores. But why it is showing 111? Isn't it? So it is not showing the summarized data. Whatever these 3 lines are showing, bikes, clothing, accessories, this is not summarized data. This is a detailed data. That's why it is showing 111. For this, in bikes category, for road bike subcategory, for this particular product, order quantity is 1. Only that particular bike will be sold at $3,578. That's it. This is detailed data, not the summarized data. So that is the reason why the sum of these 3 lines is not equal to the grand total, 60,398. Okay, this is not summarized data. So let's go to the expression. Here we need to change it for sum of order quantity. Open the bracket, close the bracket. See, here also, whenever you apply group by clause in the statement, you have to apply aggregate function also, right? So that is the reason I am applying aggregate function for the both sales amount and order quantity. Now check the data. See, this is perfect. For bikes, overall order quantity is 50,205, 9,000 for the clothing, 36,000 for the accessories. So total would be 60,398. So this is perfect, correct one. Clear? So fine. Now what I want to do, I want to implement one more group by condition. Right click on details, group properties. I want to click on add, and I want to include subcategory key also. Go to the sorting, click on add, select subcategory key. Okay, if you want to change the order wise A to Z, Z to A, yes, you can do that. Click on OK. Now check the data. See, we have some more rows because we have subcategories also included in the group by clause, right? So that's the reason it is having multiple rows. For bikes, mountain bikes 4,970, road bikes this much, touring bikes this much. Okay, clear? So if you want to include product also, yes, you can do that. Add product key. Sorting. Product key. Click on OK. Now check this. See how many pages are coming? 4 pages. End of the 4th page, you got the grand total. For each and category, again under that subcategory, this is the product and this is the summarized information. Clear? So this is how we are going to create the groups. So in tomorrow's class we are going to see how to create the row groups using drill down report and all. So tomorrow we are going to discuss complicated reports like drill down, drill through, matrix and all. Okay, fine. So have a nice day everyone. Bye bye.